How old are you and what's your biggest problem right now? 37 and I'm going blind. I don't know how long it will take, when I will be legally blind and unable to live my life with the richness, independence and everything else I expected, but it's coming. It's a crushing inevitability. Every day that I get to see my loved ones' faces is a gift. Edit. I have cone dystrophy. It started as little falling stars in the peripheral vision of one eye and has progressed to completely blurred out central vision in that eye. In lit conditions, my eye has a noise or strobe light effect, like when a normal person looks directly into bright light. My other eye is normal for now, but will eventually go the same way. If you experience any strange symptoms with your eyes, see an optometrist right away. Too many of you are saying you have things going on that haven't been checked. I'm lucky to live in Canada, so I drove straight to the optometrist the day my symptoms started and was immediately sent to a retinal specialist and had testing done. It's a lot of detail, but so many people are asking, I thought it would be easier just to post here. Also thanks for all the support you guys. It is very sweet of you all. I'm 60. My biggest problem is having to work 50 or 60, or more, hours a week just to keep up with the bills. Plus I have a bedridden wife with cancer and we're raising our oldest grandson. As Sergeant Murtaugh once said, I'm getting too old for this shit. 42 and trying to figure out which of my problems is the biggest. I'm going with finances and depression. 40s and I drink too much and need to lose weight. I only drank 3 times in February and I've increased my daily walk so I'm working on it. 74 and don't really have any problems other knowing my time is limited. Don't buy any green bananas. 'Cause I might die before they have time to ripen. It's an old people joke. 78, and knowing I am terminal. I can handle it, but everybody else is in denial. I'm hearing lots of, after all, doctors don't know everything, do they? No, they don't. But they do know the 5-year survival rate is 1%. Now let's all say that together, boys and girls. The 5-year survival rate is 1%. 59 and my thoughts are consumed with losing my wife and best friend. I've loved her for 42 years. I want 42 more. I read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and this particular part had a lasting effect on me once. An elderly general practitioner consulted me because of his severe depression. He could not overcome the loss of his wife who had died 2 years before and whom he had loved above all else. Now, how can I help him? What should I tell him? Well, I refrained from telling him anything but instead confronted him with the question, what would have happened, doctor, if you had died first, and your wife would have had to survive you? Oh, he said, for her this would have been terrible, how she would have suffered. Whereupon I replied, you see, doctor, such a suffering has been spared her, and it was you who have spared her this suffering to be sure, at the price that now you have to survive and mourn her. He said no word but shook my hand and calmly left my office. In some way, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning, such as the meaning of a sacrifice. I'm 32 and my dad died a month ago. I don't know how to exist in a world that he's not in. I miss him. 32 and my newborn daughter passed away. 61, F. Relationship heartache and likely to be let go at work. I'm too old for either of these when 6 years away from retirement. 29. All my bills are going up, but my paycheck is not. This thread is oddly beautiful. A reminder that none of us are alone and everyone has problems. I think so too. I meant to post my own problem, but while reading others and praying for them I've forgotten mine. I'm 62 and I am watching my wife die day by day from pancreatic cancer. She is the love of my life, God's gift to me. I had been married before but never have I known love until I met her. I cannot breathe. I cannot cry because I must be strong for my beautiful bride. My heart is breaking day by day. When the end comes I cannot imagine living a day without her smile and laughter. 49. I'm not interested in anything. 37. My mother just passed away, leaving me with implied responsibility for my same-aged brother with special needs. There was no plan, despite me begging them for years to figure something out. I live 10 hours away and work full-time plus. Now I'm supposed to figure it all out. 62. My husband died suddenly on January 2. Now I have to figure out where my life is going. 35 * wildly gestures at everything. Mid-30s, fighting my brain to stay alive. Just barely winning. 24 and just went through to most intensive year-long battle fighting stage 4B Hodgkin's lymphoma. I won. Thank y'all so much for the kind words. Really does mean the world. With love, Shmiti. Point 2 After a quick sesh with the devil's lettuce, I came to realize that I forgot to mention I owe it all to my loving partner who helped me through all of it. Look out for the ones you love. 55. Live alone, work 100% from home, and have no friends and family. Shit be lonely. 31. Grief, anxiety, money, never being able to afford a home and by extension claw my way out of poverty. I have more money now than I ever did in my life and it still won't get me anywhere. 37. I started a new job recently that I love and am afraid I'll lose it, not for any reason, just because I've lost the things love so often. Now I get suspicious and anxious when things go well. 27. And more I'm coming to the horrifying realization that I don't really like the world, where it's headed, the way we idolize and reward cruelty and selfishness, the way the world is just kind of ugly. This is not the world I envisioned living in when I was younger, and that crushing realization is a lot to come to terms with. Some days are especially difficult. Other days I wonder whether it's worth sticking around for something I dislike so much. You have the power to make your own beautiful microcosm in this big fucked up world. I won't argue about how dark things are, but you can't focus on that part of the world. It'll just tear you apart. It's not selfish to focus on yourself. It's self-preservation, because you can only control your own actions. I'm only 2 years older than you, so take it with a grain of salt. But this realization helped me a whole lot when the world seemed its darkest, and I hope it helps you. Also, keep in mind you aren't alone in these feelings. Our problem is that we're introspective and caring in a world that doesn't reward it. And lastly, write. Write down your feelings. It helps to express our thoughts in one way or another. I'm 48 and my son is 16. He has a muscle-eating disease called muscular dystrophy and has lost the use of his legs. His arms have weakened to the point that he can barely lift a glass and he's in a wheelchair. He has an upcoming major surgery for scoliosis, caused by the disease, that will enable him completely for up to a week. He worries about it and about the disease, dying, and on top of that, he gets very depressed about not being able to do the things that other kids his age can do. I worry constantly about him, but there is nothing I can do. That's my biggest problem. He's not the problem, but the fact I can't do anything but worry. 30 and saving for a house. It seems impossible, even on 2 incomes. Not in US but appreciate those who have given advices. Also, the amount of people in the same boat as me is extremely depressing. Something has to change.